Welcome back after a short delay, everybody. This is still the Dota League Season number 5, the Asian Division 2. Zero Latitude going up against Assail in this 2-game series where Assail took game number 1, I have to say, somewhat convincingly. Zero Latitude just going for a Spectre didn't work out at all. The Zeus supporting the Spectre couldn't help out in the slightest, just dead weight almost. But this is game number 2. Draft's probably gonna be extremely different, so we'll see if Zero Latitude can just get a slightly better position now in the league with snatching a victory here. But we're HeflaTV, I'm Couchor, once again joined by Mikelorus. Are we gonna see some of the same heroes as in game number 1, or are we gonna get completely different drafts?
For Zero Latitude, I hope it's very different, because if you count the things that went right for them, it was pretty much just the Storm Spirit who had a couple of pickoffs over the course of that game. The offlane Wind Ranger did nothing the entire game. The support Zeus, it felt like they just haven't done that before. Like, the Zeus was constantly being picked off. He went for a really weird build. I've never seen that build in my life, maxing out Arc Lightning, or getting 3 points Arc Lightning, 1 Bolt, and then maxing out his passive. It just didn't do anything. So yeah, I hope for Zero Latitude they just overhaul everything. And for Assail, I mean, they pretty much were firing off on all cylinders. Of course, you don't really want to repeat your strategy twice because the enemy team will figure it out, but if they keep on a similar line of thought, then they will be sitting pretty.
Well, looks like once again they are taking a slightly longer time with the drafts at least, but the bans are somewhat similar. Vengeful Spirit, of course, wasn't banned out in the last game, but that just goes to show that the Assail, they themselves do not want to first pick the Vengeful Spirit, I guess, and if you don't first pick it, most teams will pick it up for themselves as the second pick. So Assail banning out the Vengeful Spirit. Of course, Battle was banned after that, so there's not going to be a Battle first pick either. But what hero might Assail go for? Is it even like a Sniper first pick for them?
I think Sniper first pick is viable, but a little bit too risky. Mostly because why would you pick up a Sniper first when you could pick up an Axe first? So Zero Latitude, yeah, okay, it's going to be a troll ban, so it's hard to say that Axe first is gonna not be the pick here, just because he is such a powerful hero, so very often first banned. So you have a free pass to pick it up, you might as well.
Well, we'll see if that will be their choice here. Of course, there could also be like a Juggernaut possibly, but Juggernaut, ever since he got nerfed, I've seen him still a couple of times, but it's been rare, plus it's usually, I think, been on the losing side at the same time. So in the future, if Juggernaut continues to just not be picked up at all almost, are we gonna see once again some buffs to him, or are they gonna be like, or is IceFrog gonna be like, he had his moment to shine, now he's gonna have to wait like another year solid, maybe more?
I'm pretty sure if he's just not going to be picked, he's just not going to be picked, man. Buffing up Juggernaut now seems so risky. I actually like where Juggernaut is right now. Like, he's still very powerful, but you're more inclined, or from what I've seen lately, teams are more inclined to go for a little bit more Blade Fury, which is the way that the hero is supposed to be played, I think. At least, if I was IceFrog, that's how I would want the hero to be played. But Juggernaut is in the pool for Zero Latitude if they want to grab it. Going for a Clockwork to get some initiation on the board isn't going to be a terrible idea, but lanes in that sense could be a little bit messy. Axe is going to beat almost every other melee hero in lane. I think he will beat every other melee hero in lane.
Dark's here?
Yeah. Okay, that's the one that's the closest, but it's still, like, I think Axe favored.
It depends on how well both players play, of course, at the same time, but it might be a slightly Axe favored, but Axe should not be able to get kills on Dark's here at least. But yeah, I guess Clockwork can possibly somewhat handle it, or at least not die on the lane. It is really hard to just be any kind of melee hero. I'm struggling. Even Temper Assassin will struggle, I guess.
Yeah, and that's cheating, because she's not even a melee hero.
He starts as a melee hero.
No, she doesn't. She starts as a range hero. What are you talking about?
No.
Ursa used to be a range hero with like 100 range. That used to be pretty interesting. In case anyone cares about that. But Brewmaster as the pick for Zero Latitude. Gonna give them some initiation. And as far as lane matchups versus the Axe, looks like they're gonna delay that pick for right now. But usually the initiation comes from your off lane. It's where Axe, Centaur, Clockwork, Batrider comes into play. But having your initiation come through your mid lane is also pretty decent.
Wow. Mirana second pick. this, I think Assail is just going to ban out the Shadow Demon now. They may not do it, they may be like, okay, just bring it guys, but I've seen, rarely, but still a couple of Mirana Shadow Demon combinations, and they've always had great success with just roaming around because it is such a deadly combination. Yes, it may not be like the greatest while going into the late game, for example, but if done correctly, you don't even need to just get to the late game, or even if late game comes, by that point you've dominated the enemy team so hard anyway that they're not going to have the farm to contest you as it is. So I'm kind of hoping for that combination, but Assail, even if they ban out the Shadow Demon, there's still going to be a Bane, and if they ban out both, they just leave still quite a couple of strong heroes in the pool.
I think it is pretty important to ban out that Shadow Demon now. As you said, the combo with Mirana is so insane. You set up arrows perfectly almost every single time, and the Shadow Demon is also very good versus Axe. Like, you're going to blink in for a call, and unless you call that Shadow Demon, he'll just put his friend in a bubble, and then you're not going to be hit, so you won't spin, and, well, you're just going to be sitting there awkwardly while the target is taking no damage. So it's going to be a Juggernaut ban for right now, but maybe they're okay with just letting Zero Latitude take that hero, and then they're just going to risk it. But with the Shadow Fiend pick, if they do let the Shadow Demon get through, then pretty sure the SF is just going to be sat on for pretty much the entirety of the early stage. Very easy to kill with the Mirana Shadow Demon combo.
Yeah, it's definitely not hard. Of course, with the Bane it would be, I'd say, just as easy. Shadow Demon is, I think, a little bit better just because you create those illusions which may also tank up the tower at the same time. So it's a little bit easier to just go for dives with the Shadow Demon rather than with the Bane. Of course, Bane, if it's a little bit higher leveled, having the Brain Zap means that you just get some life back so you can dive anyway, but neither of those heroes will get banned. It's going to be a draw ban instead. So I guess Zero Latitude could have gone for it. At the moment, I have to say I wasn't considering a draw at all, but who knows.
I mean, they have a range hero, and Brewmaster typically works well with Drow Ranger lineups as well. There's so far no clear indication that Zero Latitude wanted to go for a Drow Ranger based lineup, but it would have been possible if they really wanted to go for it, like grab Visage, then Drow Ranger, and then grab a Viper or something as your last. That would have been a decent lineup for Zero Latitude. But they're going to ban out the Dazzle, as that's two support bans now out from Zero Latitude. Scarith and Dazzle both can hit the bin, so Assail going to be scraping a little bit more at the bottom of the barrel, but for Zero Latitude, they probably don't even need to grab their Shadow Demon right now. They could wait and grab a hero that they deem more important.
Yeah, what would they deem more important, or what's like their... Well, never mind, gonna be a Shadow Demon instead anyway for now, but what are the other heroes gonna be? At the moment, Brewmaster can go mid lane, of course being up against Shadow Fiend, who knows, maybe he wants to be safe lane instead and they want to run... Even a Sniper still possible for Zero Latitude, to be honest. Is a hero that is quite commonly used as kind of a counter to the Shadow Fiend, to be honest, so wouldn't be extremely surprised if we did see the Sniper now for Zero Latitude as the fourth one. Unless the Assail themselves want to run like a safe lane Sniper, possibly with Axe just being in the off lane and Shadow Fiend mid.
Yeah, Sniper for both sides, in the ways that you just described, is certainly very viable. I would say probably a little bit better for Zero Latitude. Put the Sniper in the mid lane with Mirana Shadow Demon. Sniper can contribute a lot to make sure that the Shadow Fiend doesn't escape from that arrow combo. And let's be honest, few heroes ever escape from the stun duration of the arrow, let alone all the shrapnel that's going to be around them afterwards. But for Assail, they're going to grab their last core and leave the support picks to a little bit later. The Slark is going to be the pick for them, and Zero Latitude don't really have great heroes versus the Slark right now as far as killing him off. They could bubble him, they could arrow him, maybe that's going to work, but Slark right now doesn't really have that much to fear. Generally, you have to be scared of the likes of Faceless Void and Scarith Mage, Lion, fast disables, but right now Zero Latitude's disables are very slow.
Yeah, Slark definitely a nice pickup for Assail. The one thing is now that, well, they are completely lacking the supports for now. Maybe in some games Axe is going to be played in that 4 position and heads into the jungle instead. Since Zero Latitude, of course, with Shadow Demon and Mirana roaming around even into the enemy jungle might work out, but if Assail, if they really wanted to go a little bit greedy and to run that kind of strategy, just ward out your jungle properly and you're going to be fine. Of course, running any kind of junglers with the Shadow Fiend on your own side will just somewhat take away farm from the Shadow Fiend, because usually you want to stack up as much as possible and just have him flash farm those up.
And you only need like 1 or 2 camps for that, so it's possible that you split farm, but it's definitely less than ideal. For Zero Latitude, they're going to grab a Morphling, so looks like a little bit of an older lineup for Zero Latitude, and I think the Morphling pick right here is decent. However, Assail, since they do still have their 2 supports, not uncommon to see an Ancient Apparition right now. I mean, it's, maybe not the best versus the Brew, Mirana, and Shadow Demon, but versus Morphling, AA is what you want to completely deny him that strength morph.
Wow, we are gonna get an Abaddon. People on chat were talking about it. They were so sad that it wasn't the first big one, but we are gonna have one in the end. And of course, what better way to deal with just a Shadow Demon Mirana ganking than having somebody who can take off the arrow debuff to the stun of it. But at least Zero Latitude, I have to say that the synergy between a Shadow Demon and Morphling late game when the disruption is maxed out is pretty huge, because those illusions do a crap ton of damage. I do believe it's 60% per illusion when it's maxed out, so those 2 illusions will be slightly stronger than the Morphling himself, because Morphling being stat based, it just all goes to the illusions as well, the damage.
Yeah, Morphling is the hero that you want to be partnered up with a Shadow Demon, to a lesser extent Anti-Mage or Medusa, but Morphling, I would say, is definitely at the top there. Abaddon is the pick for Assail, as you said, is going to be protecting them against those Mirana arrows. Together with the Slark, it's going to mean that Zero Latitude are really going to struggle to actually lock anyone down. Even if the Abaddon sits on the Shadow Fiend most of the time, then, well, Shadow Fiend with a little bit of extra health is going to be really problematic as well. So generally, I'm not a huge fan of Abaddons, but I think at this game versus the Mirana, versus the already CC light side of Zero Latitude, this hero is going to be fine. The problem is in that they have 3 melee heroes right now, so their last has to be a range, but ooh, a Night Stalker for Zero Latitude. That's actually a decent hero to deal with the Slark, but it's also nothing that the Abaddon can't deal with. It's like, oh, well, Crippling Fear, you're gone. Just going to get rid of that for my ally.
Well, it's probably Night Stalker will have to just target the Abaddon with that silence there, but it's... Of course, it's not like a complete waste or anything, but it just means that suddenly shutting down the Slark is going to be so damn hard, and if Abaddon is at least level 6, yes, you can silence him, but you can't really focus him down unless you have something that can burst him from 0 or, well, from a range where his ultimate isn't activated to straight out dead, which they're lacking at the moment. Maybe a really massively farmed Morphling with a shotgun can do it, but Zero Latitude... Their lineup needs some pretty massive execution at the moment to go up against what Assail has. One thing though, mechanic-wise, I have no idea how it interacts, but if Shadow Demon creates illusions with the Slark, the illusions also get Essence Shifts, right?
Oh man, there are some passives that they get. I don't actually think they do. They will get the stats stolen by Essence Shift, since it doesn't give you green agility, it gives you just regular agility. I think that's how it works, but you won't get any more. I can actually look that up real fast, because, yeah, it's not too common that we see Shadow Demon nowadays.
Yeah. It would be just so weird that you steal somebody's stats, then the illusions expire, and those stats will be lost for still a set period of time. It doesn't feel logical, but it depends. I guess the Slark's passive isn't like an attack modifier, so I don't think they gain it in the end anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper to figure that one out, because the wiki is just not giving me an easy answer. But either way, we got CM as the last pick, so I know someone in the chat's gonna be pretty happy. CM and Abaddon, 2 defensive support heroes for Assail. And when your cores are, well, Slark, Shadow Demon, and Axe, then this is gonna be fine. I was gonna say that they were CC light. Crystal Maiden, not exactly this crowd controller that you really want, but she will do decently enough. But CM versus Night Stalker.
Food.
Well, yeah, just food.
It's even up against like a Morphling as well. You don't even need the shotgun to make Crystal Maiden your just personal platter of food, really. But we'll see how it's going to work out. At least it's going to be some extra mana. Abaddon will be happy about it. Axe most likely as well. Even a Shadow Fiend can just use the Shadow Races a little bit more liberally while pushing out the mid lane, for example, or trying to go for some harass. And also Slark can use the Pounce and Dark Pact a little bit more often. But to introduce the lineups for the second game of this series, for Assail, Psionics will be playing the Slark, leaving a new player, a stand-in, Fu. I think he used to play for G-Guard before. He's on the Crystal Maiden, leaving NJ on the Shadow Fiend with Zero Attitude on the Axe, and Ice playing the Abaddon.
And for ZL, they're all smoked up, heading down towards the bottom lane. Abil is going to be playing the Brewmaster with Bakabon on the Mirana. He was on the Night Stalker show on the Shadow Demon, and actually Morphling not joining the party. He played by Dila, but Zero Latitude, right now if they find someone, it will most likely just be a kill, as Disruption into Arrow is pretty crippling, especially if you're a Crystal Maiden. Oh, please no, CM. Is it going to start that early? Arrow going to be thrown. This is easily dodgeable, and she will in fact dodge it. Disruption looking for the range, but no boots first from Shadow Demon. Look at that. CM was able to outrun someone, and it means that she gets to live.
Man, 280 movement speed, it's just still piss poor, but Shadow Demons quite often do start with boots, but had to go for all those support items. Will remain safe though, did see the arrow coming just in time there, although, what? He's still gonna keep on going, oh god, no, run! Why did you go back in? Dude, Crystal Maiden, please! If he gets hit by the Thunderclap, he is done for. Arrow will not land, but the Thunderclap will disruption. They're waiting for it. Psyonix is around as well to pounce, I think, the target that would otherwise possibly gotten a kill on Crystal Maiden, so he will survive, or she will survive. Thank god for that one.
It was all an elaborate bait, man. Gotta draw out that mana. CM, though, is not gonna have a good time in this lane. It's gonna be actually three heroes for Assail, but Eyes is gonna run into two of them. He's gonna shield himself, but he does have a lot of base damage, but he's not gonna be able to beat these two ranged heroes. He's gonna be kited back and forth. Fu is gonna come in, but last time the CM was here, it wasn't good times. This is really a fight they want to take. Arrow set up onto the Abaddon, going to land onto Eyes. He has a shield afterwards, plus he's already tangoed up. Back up in the meantime, taking quite a bit of damage. CM just dishing, slowly but surely, but it's going to be Abaddon to be first blood. Mirana will draw it, at the same time will give her life to the CM. Is this going to be a man fight that CM is going to win? Shadow Demon probably could turn around and win if he did that from the beginning, but instead he's now on the run. A couple more right clicks, Frost Nova, not enough mana. Sho's going to get chased out by a melee creep, but it looks like he will be surviving unless Fu cuts him off. Now, still not enough mana just yet, but either way, it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, NJ started moving a little bit too late as well on the Shadow Fiend. Otherwise, one Shadow Raise. Actually, one Shadow Raise level 1, I don't think would have even been enough, so... Still a 1-for-1, not too bad. Abaddon, there was no way he's gonna be able to chase down the Mirana, to be honest. He did get the 40 shield damage, so that was all well and good, but... It was just way too hopeful. What happened early on when they met each other happened again. He just tried to run at them, tried to attack, but... You're just not going to get in range without boots. Or even with boots, when they also have boots, it's not going to happen either. But Slark does have some lag issues, will disconnect for now. But looking at the Axe, he's going to have a great old time. Mirana has come to the top lane now, but until this point, Axe was just creep skipping, meaning that Morphling has to kind of tank up the creep wave at the tower unless he wants the tower to take damage, which you never really do want to happen. So Axe had a good time. He's going to have enough gold for his Tranquil Boots within like 1 or 2 creeps. So if he gets those Tranquils, it's gonna be even easier. He can even transition into his own jungle if Shadow Demon also comes top, for example.
I don't think I've ever seen any hero with 16 last hits 1 minute into the game. It's been, of course, grabbing these lower bounty, easy camp neutrals, but Axe is going to be really difficult for Zero Latitude to deal with, especially if Abaddon ever makes his rotation up there. And seeing as though right now it's just the Brewmaster down here, they could leave the CM to do all the pulling, and usually she's going to be pretty happy with that. And then have a really obnoxious dual lane up towards top where Axe is going to get all the creeps guaranteed, at the same time be protected from arrows and, well, just general damage by that shield. So if Assail want to do that, it'll be obnoxious as all hell, but it'll be really effective. Shutting down the Morphling's farm or slowing it down, forcing him to take last hits or take creep damage from under the tower would be just a huge nuisance for him.
So Slark has reconnected and disconnected. Fun times. I for a second got my hopes up and I was like, nope, disconnected again. Never mind. To move along, people. There's nothing to see here. So at the moment, look, it's just the last hit numbers are so funny to look at. Only 1.5 minutes in, 16 last hits for the Axe. It's almost never you see such a huge difference with just the number 1 and the secondary position here. 10 last hits this early on. But
you're not even supposed to have 10 last hits this early on. But it's a 10 last hit differential. That's insane. Zero Attitude, he's going to be pushed out of lane right now. Now up against a full-on tri-lane is going to be in for a little bit more of a painful time, but he already has 700 gold. He could buy his Tranquils very soon, so yeah, this Axe is pretty much sitting pretty, and if it gets really bad, and I don't really see it getting really bad, he could always go towards his own jungle. So
at the moment, Night Stalker in the mid lane has taken full advantage of the fact that Shadow Fiend might not get off to the greatest of starts if you miss those early couple of last hits, which Night Stalker can definitely kind of make him miss, just getting the denies and last hits in front of him, but NJ will have the time to just catch up, and as he gets more levels on the Shadow Fiend, it's going to be easier and easier for him to kind of take over the lane against the Night Stalker, because Night Stalker, you only had that one single target ability to either try to last hit from a distance when you're up against ranged heroes, or just try to harass the enemy, but Void just not the greatest ability to do so. So the Obnoxious is going to start a little bit early up towards top. Abaddon has made his rotation up,
In a 2v3 lane, usually the 2 is going to be losing, but I think this is a 2 lane where they could certainly come out ahead. The creep situation not really perfect for them at this moment, but as you said, the Night Stalker is going to be, in general struggling up against NJ. They're going to get into a fist fight now. Double raise though, and man, you'd never want to get hit by one raise, let alone two. So Night Stalker's got to be careful. In the meantime, the Brewmaster, he's getting a couple of CS actually, a lot more than I thought. In fact, more than the Slark. But as this lane progresses, the Brewmaster will get less and less.
It was just the Crystal Maiden having to go for the Crystal Nova early on with the fighting going on. It just means that there's no Frostbite, she cannot jungle, can't get easy levels, can't get that easy level 3. And with only a Crystal Nova and being level 1, I mean, Crystal Maiden level 1 did or was sitting at 39 damage. Disruption top lane though, Arrow will not follow because there were a couple of creeps around also. But sure, he's so damn low on health, if only there was a Battle Hunger right about now. But Crystal Maiden, he was hitting for 39 damage with a Stout Shield there for the Brewmaster and Drunken Brawler. Crystal Maiden just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, probably like average of 15 damage, something like that. Avil's going to try to go for the CM, and Slark can't really do that much to help out. Brewmaster is pretty difficult to deal with when you have no one to actually poke him down, and if Abaddon was here, he wouldn't really be helping the situation, but Slark, once he gets to like level 5, level 6, then Brewmaster is going to be a little more trouble, but for right now, Brewmaster's doing just fine. His eye's going to get run into the Night Stalker. He will shield himself and then make a clean escape. But now, first nighttime is upon us, and Night Stalker is level 5 with bottle and boots. This is a hero that, who has enough farm to actually do quite a bit in only just 4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, he's definitely scary at the moment. The one downside is that him leaving the lane cannot really come as a surprise for Assail. If he's missing, Shadowfiend should always just call it out and everybody maybe back off a little bit to the towers. Of course, even that is going to serve its purpose anyway, because if the enemy is at their own towers, they're probably not going to be farming at the same time. But Night Stalker, at least for now, it's just going to stay in the mid lane, going to make use of that little bit of extra movement speed and attack speed to just possibly get more last hits there, and make that secondary nighttime his priority.
Top Dila is going to get hit with the call. Creep's going to attack the axe a couple times. Needs one more spin though. Gets a little bit unlucky. Should have dove with that shield. That might have been a kill. In the meantime, Shadowfiend will be going down. Looks like an arrow finally connected on him. It will be 1 kill for Zero Latitude, but our Attitude is still chasing for this Morphling up towards top. He is going to be slightly faster once these Tranquils come back online, and Morphling doesn't have mana to waveform out. However, the call not going to be there unless Morphling turns around. Call going to miss. And it looks like the axe is just going to resort to creep skipping, but oh man, Morphling just skating on the edge of death.
Yeah, bottom lane the Brewmaster managed to just completely harass out the Slark as well. Oh man. Oh, it was Void into Arrow, so the slow did help out a little bit, I guess. Top again, really? They're going to get the axe with, well, 3 heroes being there, so Night Stalker being the part of 2 kills in the first nighttime. Not too bad at all. Bottom lane, they're gonna get the disruption into Thunderclap onto Afu. Sure, so low on health himself, but will survive on the Shadow Demon. So Zero Latitude off to a pretty good start. I mean, Avil, he's already level 6 for an offlane Brewmaster and has power treads.
Yeah, for any hero, this would be a really good start for an offlane, and for Brewmaster, that's just so much more terrifying because he does now have access to split. Probably not going to be bothering the Slark that much since he is more or less split proof. But if he runs into the Shadowfiend or CM, even to a lesser extent the Abaddon, then Avil will have so much damage. And speaking of Abaddon, being chased down by a DD Mirana will just take a fall almost at his tier 1 tower, but that wouldn't have even saved him. So 5-1 and Zero Latitude, going for a vastly different strategy than in game number 1, and seems like it's working out very well for them thus far. This Night Stalker has yet to even get going, yet they're still at a 5-1 lead.
It's just going to mean that the Assail are going to most likely struggle the entire game. Arrow will at least miss NJ this time around, so Shadowfiend can breathe a little bit more easily. So although Mirana, never mind, too low on mana, can't just hang around and go for more arrows. Then again, sure, does he bring some? Well, he has a Clarity, so probably going to share that one. Maybe we're going to share a few bottle charges, or we'll have Night Stalker share 1 or 2 to Mirana. Because just having Mirana on the map, even trying for arrows, just gets or sets up a little bit of pressure. But now the disruption comes out, Heva will get the silence to follow. Does have a Void as well, I think. Is he saving it for a TP out? Well, they get the kill anyway. Shadow will get frostbitten up. 1 more Shadow Race, that's all they really need. Or, oh, uphill miss, yes. No. RNGesus, please.
Hate to see that kind of thing happen. Heva is going to take 2 raises. Third going to miss, however. NJ so close to 2 kills, yet so far away. At the same time, Morphling gets his towers and out towards top. That was a 25% chance to get the kill on the Shadow Demon, and sometimes you just roll unluckily.
At least Shadowfiend, even without those kills, last hit numbers are looking great for her. Top lane though, we might get the kill on Dila if the Berserker's call. Well, never mind, gonna miss. Should be an easy waveform away if it's even necessary, but at the moment, gonna resort to just running himself into safety. So 6-1, 0 Latitude, having a great time. Nighttime will end though, so there's no darkness yet. Arrow will get dodged, does pick up the bounty rune anyway. So nicely done there by the Shadowfiend, not completely running into the arrow like that, but Shadowfiend #1 in net worth, next 3 though, being there on 0 Latitude.
And the Axe and Slark having a much more difficult time than you would really expect. CM's ability to push his Brewmaster out of lane pretty much nil, as NJ over towards mid is not going to take an arrow. I think he's going to dodge this one. No, well, yeah, Creep taking the bullet for him. Who's going to go straight for Show, and NJ going to turn around trying to go for the Shadow Demon. Fortunately for Assail, it is daytime right now. They're both going to get away. However, Crystal Maiden, is this poison lethal? It's only level 1 poison, so she should be fine. But that was a very close call over in the mid lane. Mirana holding her arrow for a little bit longer. Stutter steps to get into a little bit better position and end up costing her. But Dila up towards top. Gonna hit with another call. There is a Culling Blade here, but Morphling, oh, he might end up killing himself with that illusion of his. Dila has a waveform out. Culling Blade, not quite gonna be there, but he's gonna waveform right into Eyes, who's still not gonna have enough. This Morphling is having, you know, a kind of rough time as far as his ability to survive, but he's still getting CS.
Yeah, it's still getting some pretty nice farm going in there, especially considering how Axe started the lane off as well. But Axe also getting closer to his own Blink Dagger. NJ farming up the jungle, I think it was only a double stack, maybe a triple stack, and he's going for a mech as well on the Shadowfiend. So going for at least starting with somewhat of an utility build, but up against a Night Stalker, if you're silenced up for example, if you're slowed, at least you can still use the mech to just hope to survive.
Yeah, and you do have the Abaddon there, so most of the time you'll be able to turn and fight. They're going to run to the Mirana as arrow's going to be thrown towards NJ. Gonna connect as well. They saw it coming, but they couldn't dodge it in time. Eva is not going to outright get the kill, throwing the silence towards the Abaddon instead. Love that play from the Night Stalker. Now going to pop his Darkness with another Void armed and ready. They're going to get the bubble onto Eyes. The shield is going to get instantly burst. That's going to be a double kill for the Night Stalker, and looking to make it 3 onto Fu, who's going to take an arrow to the dome. Night Stalker dropping pretty low, but the Slark instead going to go for the Mirana, and the Axe also misses his initiation. Bakabon is going to maybe die versus the Slark, needs a couple more hits. Pack not going to do it actually. Mirana playing Ring Around the Rosy around the tower will also live. 0 Latitude just getting out by the skin of their teeth. Yet they get the kill on a very important hero. They get a couple kills actually, and somehow they all manage to slip away.
And not only that, also getting the tier 1 tower bottom down though. Avil just happily pushing away. So far hasn't even had the need to pop the Primal Split really. Now seeing Abaddon, Thunderclap, maybe followed by a Primal Split to set up a solo kill, we'll see. But man, it's hard that they want Brewmaster so close to the Blink Dagger already. Thank God that the Assail still has a Shadowfiend farming up, but even Shadowfiend, I mean, even if you do complete up the mech, you're still not that hard of a target to kill. I mean, your just health pool isn't all that great to begin with.
And the burst for 0 Latitude is pretty high at this point, especially if the Brewmaster decides to join the fight, which he will once he gets just 200 more gold. So they're looking at bottom lane. Assail have to be feeling pretty comfortable here, but they probably shouldn't be because there's a Mirana shouting right around the corner. Show, though, going to get jumped. Will put himself in a bubble, will protect him from the pack. Arrow going to fly through, connect onto Eyes, but Show's going to die in the meantime. Avil is going to close in for the clap. He has a split available, but there's no real great hero to go for as Axe arrives to the party. Unfortunately, his Blink Dagger is a little bit too late. They won't be able to continue this fight, but it is a kill for Assail.
Yeah, they definitely need it. Just straight out doubling their kill score for now, at least. Also, Dila top lane has gone for a first item ultimate orb. Is it really a straight out Skadi for Morphling? Do you still go back towards a Linken's? Although Linken's this game probably completely useless, but is it really straight out Skadi for him?
Well, I mean, 0 Latitude are buying a lot of space for this Morphling to get to that late game. Night Stalker, Brewmaster have very similar peaks in power level at very similar times. So if they do want to take this to the late game or have some backup for the Morphling to just get to that late game item stage, then the Skadi is a reasonable item. And his alternative, like a Manta style Yasha type of build, I mean, that's not too terrible either. And you could even go for that with his ultimate orb. So opening up with an orb on the Morphling, very cost ineffective, but that's okay because they don't need their Morphling, and they won't need their Morphling for another like 10-20 minutes.
Especially now with the Blink on Brewmaster, but Eva does want to come in. Pounce lands onto Mirana though. Moonlight Shadow was already used, and that's gonna be one easy kill. Night Stalker a little bit too low in health to really go in and man mode at the moment. So another kill for Assail. If they just buckle down a little bit, they're probably going to be fine. Axe also with his own blink there. If he can start setting up kills, it's going to be excellent as a comeback method for them. But can they just start getting those kills is the question.
Well, they're going to get one, and it looks like that's about going to be it. Slark is very close to a hand of Midas, which with the Gloves of Haste, I can only assume it's going to be a Midas. And then Assail have a decent shot at taking this to a little bit of a later game stage, but this game seemingly is just like the mirror of the last, except the teams are swapped. Like Zero Latitude have so much aggressive power in this early stage, and if they keep applying their pressure, then Assail, who are going to be going for this, Slark / Spectre kind of levels of farm, he might not get there, and he might just not be doing anything for this entire game. Assail definitely have, in this game though, a lot of a better chance to actually do something with the heroes they have, since Zero Attitude looking for a blink in, hasn't a chance to call two. He will jump in, get the call on two heroes, plus a creep wave to boot. Shield not going to burst just yet. Getting very unlucky, in fact, with those spins. Only got a couple now. Here comes Assail, has a split, and he will go ahead and use it. NJ in quite a bit of trouble, will mech himself up. We can see how much that's doing. Shield from Eye is going to keep the Shadow Fiend alive for right now, as Fu channeling his ultimate to kill off the wind and fire aspect, but the odds of them killing off Earth is probably 0. They can't do it. They just don't have enough damage. They escape with the Night Stalker. Hiva is very lucky to survive. That was an extraordinarily low amount of counter helixes from the Axe.
Yeah, he got like 2 procs, I think, straight after Night Stalker got out of range from there. So definitely unlucky. Maybe a little bit too tanky for his like well-being even, but sure, he's gonna be a lot of trouble. Berserker's Call, no creeps there, but the Shadow Races will follow the dunk for extra movement speed to either disengage or go for more. They get the Frostbite on the Night Stalker, silence onto NJ to make sure there's no more Shadow Races, of course. Abaddon Shield gets rid of the silence quite easily. Blink, Berserker's Call catches one, creep wave coming in at the same time. Do they have a Frostbite, Crystal Nova, anything at all? Too low on mana, but they get the kill regardless there. Mech to get them back to fighting shape. Morphling does get the tower at the same time though, so they get the trade. Blink, Berserker's Call this time around. It does miss, but a great turn of events anyway for them.
Yeah, a huge amount of kills there for Assail, and Axe setting up every single one of them. And Zero Latitude, even after having gotten initiated by the Axe in this area, still deciding to stick around, knowing that the Axe was still there. So, let's be honest, they were kind of asking for initiation to happen upon them, and Assail wasted no time and just constantly were jumping in. Psionics putting a little bit of pressure down towards bottom. As you said, Morphling did take a tower in the meantime. But still, the Slark now has a hand of Midas, and if you buy a lot of free time for the Slark, he can make a huge recovery, especially if he gets additional kills. He's going to maybe go for show, but Disruption will keep the Shadow Demon safe for the most part. So either way, Assail fighting back and doing a pretty decent job. Zero Latitude just falling a little bit short in how they approach this mid lane defense, getting initiated upon, whereas they themselves don't really have many great ways of initiating, aside from that Brewmaster split, which wasn't available.
Yeah, it's a little bit funny that Brewmaster has had the Prime Split for so long. Even the Blink was there a little bit earlier, just unable to really find the positioning for it. Maybe it's a couple of their heroes getting picked off left and right almost. Crystal Maiden, oh, dodges there. Blink, Berserker's Call lands onto 2 pounds. Dark Pact to follow, and Avil still no Prime Split for 1 second, lacking a little bit of mana. He's gonna have to defensively Prime Split. He's going to do some counter damage. 7x was in the middle, blocked in by his own teammates at the time. But that's just another Prime Split that might not accomplish anything. I mean, Shaw is coming in with Heva as well on the Night Stalker, but can they really get the kill? Abaddon is level 7, so it does have the ultimate.
And oh no, Zero Attitude, you don't want to be there. Fu's going to walk right into the middle of everything, looking for a freezing field, but Avil's going to reinitiate into this fight. He doesn't have any more mana, however, NJ's going to whiff his raises show, and Fu going to get into a support man fight, and CM with the ultimate is going to win. A little bit of help from the Shadow Fiend, of course. Off to the side, Slark and Night Stalker are going to fight to the death, and it will be Slark getting a kill before dying. Mirana going to secure that one, but 9-9 right now, and Assail take a 2-for-1. Now evening up the kill score, which could have even gone better for them if Axe didn't bring up to the high ground. The problem is for Assail is that all these fights have been without the Morphling, who's still just farming up. So though they're doing fine right now, they will be doing worse in the future once Zero Latitude actually fight with a full 5-man team.
One thing to note out though is that Slark did have, or does have, the Hand of Midas off cooldown at the moment, so a little bit less value coming out from that item since he didn't or can't use it for quite some time. I think it's like 30 plus seconds altogether, a little bit more even. So that's like one positive, or one additional positive for Zero Latitude in getting the Slark kill like that. But Blink, Berserker's Call, they catch Avil. Oh god, Crystal Nova to follow, Frostbite as well. 2 Shadow Races I think it was. And with the dunk, they do secure the kill, but oh, Zero Latitude went a little bit too deep there. Does get voided up, but with the mech, with the magic wand, it's fine for now. They do get the disruption, but there's no stun to follow, so they should be able to escape. Well, maybe not. Krista made them blink. Berserker Skull again, not to have a Requiem of Souls will not get cancelled because the arrow landed into God knows what, to be honest. But sure, it's gonna be the second one to go down. I think Battle Hunger should be enough, even with that Moonlight Shadows defending them for now. Dila is joining or trying to join the first fight. Berserker Skull does miss, but the dunk does not. So 4 heroes down. Morphling can't really do anything by himself. Should have just kept on farming.
Yeah, he is going to arrive to the party way too late, and it's once again Zero Attitude just starting all of these fights. I have no idea that arrow looked like it was going to connect onto NJ. Honestly,
it didn't land on Yak either, did it? Because
yeah, I don't know what happened there. There must have been like a hidden little creep or something, because it seemed like both those heroes were just constantly swinging and not stunned. But even if that arrow landed, it wasn't going to be a huge stun duration because Mirana was kind of right next to the fight. It would have interrupted it. And it might have saved the Requiem from going off, but still Assail with this axe are just making so much happen. And well, axe dropped low to begin that fight, but the mech and the magic wand charges, all of a sudden he's back up another like 500 HP or something like that, and he's free to continue the fight. So 6-1-2, and this axe is pretty much bringing Assail back into this game with that blink dagger. Yeah,
he's going for the BKB now as well, and once he does finish it, what does Zero Latitude have to threaten this axe? It's just Morphling, definitely not doing enough physical damage at the moment to really be that big of a threat. Arrow does miss, Blink Thunderclap lands onto 2 eyes, pokes the 40 shield on himself. Psyonix does have the ultimate if need be. Primal Split comes out, pounds away. Shadow Dance to dodge that boulder toss, and maybe they're gonna lose Abaddon, never mind. Everybody's around Zero Attitude. Can he get the blink? He does get the blink. Berserker Skull only lands onto 1, but that one might be fine. Arrow also lands it in the back of the axe. But they double damage NJ on the Shadow Fiend. They're going to get Avil after the Frostbite. Freezing Field used the dunk on the Shadow Fiend. This mech, first of all, I have to say, is doing so much for them now. Even a BKB on the Shadow Fiend as well. Berserker Skull does just slightly miss the Mirana's back end. We do have Waveform used. Pops the ultimate of the Abaddon, but man, losing 2, maybe even losing the tier 2, unless Assail go a little bit too greedy.
And Assail are taking these fights so well. Blink forward, Deal is going to get caught. And he will be going down. No dunk mana, but no dunk needed. Morphling just sticking around for a little bit too long. Axe now all the way up to 8-1-2. That time the initiation was there for Zero Latitude, but not on the right heroes. You can't easily initiate on a Slark like that with a Brewmaster. You need hard crowd control effects, and Clap Split with the Boulder even being dodged by the Shadow Dance is far from what you need in order to kill that hero off. So Assail, they managed to bring all their heroes in at well, more or less the perfect time, and Zero Latitude, they had such a great laning stage, but now it's seemingly all falling apart just because they don't have that many ways of
Crystal
fighting.
Maiden, what? Where are you, bro? Boy, to stop her TP, that's like, why are you wandering in the enemy jungle like that? I would understand if you wanted to place a ward, but that's like no place to just put a ward into anyway where he was.
I believe in her ability to escape right now. Run, CM.
Oh no!
Oh yes!
Oh, no way, how?
Dude, CM is so fast. So fast.
Outplayed. Outplayed, oh man.
Man, I have no stake in who wins this game. I don't care. I have zero opinions. But I love seeing CM get away from those situations where she should have died. Of course, it's a bad play to be there in the first place. They're going to jump in for Avil. He doesn't have another split for another 15 seconds. He'll be taking a fall. Zero Attitude setting up yet another kill for his team. And, well, CM is participating in that. Insult to injury for sure.
So 17-9 is the kill score now in favor of Assail, what used to be 1-8. So Assail, they've been getting 16 kills while Zero Latitude have gotten only 1. A Berserker Skull does come out, but with a nice disruption they save him for now. Shadow, he's gonna get pounced up, no escape for him. BKB forced on NJ, he might lose his life to the physical damage. Well, of course, Morphling, he was forced, or kind of forced away from the Requiem Souls, which would have killed the Morphling in return, I believe, but that was a man fight that Shadowfiend wouldn't have won otherwise, by the looks of things. Still, 2 kills, another tower to fall. Man, Assail, how the hell have they gotten 17 kills all of a sudden with Zero Latitude only being able to just get 1?
And it's all about this axe initiation. He's going to try again for Deal. He's going to waveform in. He's going to pop the Mantis style, will keep himself safe versus the Frostbite, but Psyonix is going to jump with the pound. Stila does not have any way of getting out of here, especially when his head gets cut off. Brewmaster could come into the middle of the fight. He's going to not get a split off, however. Now the freezing field to zone everyone else away. Hiva gets pounced on the escape. He's going to get bubbled, but I don't think that's really going to save him. One more raise is going to get the kill there. Psionic's still alive. Shadow Dance, he's going to continue surviving his show. Going to be chased down. Zero Attitude has a call, and he will use it onto the Shadow Demon. 22 for 9, and Zero Latitude, I don't even remember the last time they've gotten a kill. It seems like they've been on 9 kills for like the past 10 minutes now.
Look at the graphs as well. It's just 12k plus network fleet now, 15,000 in XP. It's only 22 minutes in, like what's happening? Arrow does land into Crystal Maiden, but once the stun ends, does have a Uranus charge if need be. I mean, they should back off anyway, but 22 minutes in, having a Rax advantage, and up against the lineup that Zero Latitude has. I mean, usually it's like, yeah, one Rax, not that big of a deal, but first of all, it's pretty early still in the game. Second, Zero Latitude have kind of a crap lineup in dealing with Mega Creeps.
Yeah, they just don't have any way of clearing that until they get like Mjolnirs and Battle Furies or something, which is not going to happen for a long time. I think this is all really coming back to that mid lane fight, that initiation where the Axe was hiding here and then blinked over here and caught 2. That really set things up for the rest of the game, because for Zero Latitude, their strength in their lineup comes from their ability to take small scaling skirmishes. Shadow Demon disruption into an arrow, Night Stalker, of course, loves those types of things. But since that mid lane fight, Assail, they have not really been split up with many of their heroes. They've been fighting as a full 5-man team, and that's really where they're at their strongest. That's where Abaddon has, more flexibility to keep heroes alive. And of course, everyone, the mech and BKB on the Shadow Demon is going to do wonders there. Even the freezing field doing some decent damage. So Zero Latitude, if they were able to keep small scale skirmishes, then they would have been in a much better position. But the massive team fights are just failing them right now.
Okay, so Zero Latitude, they got the kill at 18 minutes in. Oh yeah, the Slark died to the Mirana arrow. I was like, Mirana killed the Slark, when the hell did that happen? But I remember the arrow now, getting the end of the kill after the man fight with that Night Stalker. But before that, the kill that they got was at like 12 minutes in, so they've gotten 1 kill within the last, well, 12 minutes more or less now. And they might get even more. They ping out Show, Blink Berserker Skull with the Frostbite will be there. Arrow won't touch anything from Bakabon. Another kill for Assail, another tower down. That's all the outer towers, and man, it's really their game to lose all of a sudden. Well, maybe not all of a sudden by this point, but Zero Latitude, they were looking so good to begin with.
Yeah, they just had to play more aggressively, get more ganks, but the team fights, again, just were working for Assail so well, and now suddenly they're knocking on the secondary set of Raxes. Darkness is there. Hiva looking for an angle in. He has an Aghanim Scepter, which is a fantastic item on Night Stalker, but it's not really the item that you want right now. You can see everyone great, but can you do anything about it? You probably can't. Zero Attitude going to botch his initiation, but a clean disengage for him as Zavil gets in with a nice clap onto everyone. Mech, though, going to negate all that damage. NJ with the BKB, just standing in the middle of everything. Psionics didn't take the pressure for right now, but he has his ultimate. Won't do enough for the waveform. Will get the kill. Now the Freezing Field plus the Requiem going to chunk down all the heroes from Zero Latitude. Night Stalker is doomed to fall. Morphling somehow is able to slip away from there, but Zero Attitude has another call cooling down. Will miss it on the Brewmaster. Will connect onto Show. That's a beyond godlike streak for the Axe. And Assail have made a 2-for-1 trade. NJ still at pretty much full HP. This tower, at the very least, is going to be going down. They're also probably going to be able to get, range or melee Raxes, or maybe even both.
Zero Latitude still, I think they took that fight as well as they could hope for with the kind of deficit they have to work up against. So, nice jump, getting a 3-man, maybe only 4-man Thunderclap, as Afu does get arrowed out, but Bakabon by himself, no follow-up at all almost. And, oh god, the dodge of the attack with that Mirana leap, but even so, they lose the Rax. Dila might be able to catch a straggler. Has he adaptive strike now to stun out a TP? I mean, Afu, at least she should die this time around on the Crystal Maiden. Does have the Frostbite, but doesn't really want to turn around. A bot shield will be there, as will the Mist Coil. But yeah, it's this time around, it's gonna be just space created for, I guess, Ice to TP out. But they get the Rax, they get a couple of kills, no buybacks forced because all the heroes that died probably did not have buybacks. The Axe missing the dunk on the Morphling was kind of a crucial thing there. Had they gotten the kill on Morphling, they could have even gone for the third set of Rax possibly, but Strength Morph a little bit too strong for the threshold. Psionics though, getting closer to the Skadi now. Butterfly is completely finished on the Shadow Fiend, level 16 with a level 3 ultimate. Aghanim Scepter and Axe. This Zero Latitude with only 1 Rax standing, I don't think there's once again a way for them to come back into this game.
Yeah, even if Assail were just chilling in their base right now, it would be really bad. They're going to blink in for Show. BKB is going to absorb the arrow disruption already used. easy kill for NJ to steal. Avil does have his split coming up shortly, and he might be able to use it, but will it really do anything? Because last fight, it seems like it just didn't do anything. The mech restored all of the HP, and Dila is actually going to jump into this. Call is there. Dila is going to take a hell of a lot of damage. Double Ray is going to land, and Morphling going to go down. Split finally going to come out. NJ pops the Requiem. Kiva's going to drop very low because of it, and will be taking a fall. Zero Attitude is standing strong as the Brewlings are getting killed off. He'll die in his split form. Morphling even going to have to buy back to try to do something, but it's way too late because that's game.
So this, I mean, at the start or how it started, it was like, oh, maybe it's going to be kind of an easy game for Zero Latitude, but Assail never lost their composure by too much. Yes, they lost a couple of heroes on most lanes, but they still had Shadow being reasonably farming. They got the Slark with decent-ish farm, getting a Midas as well. So it's not like their late game was inferior to the lineup of Zero Latitude, I think. So they just kept on farming and kept on getting better trades. They were more ready for the fight, especially this early mech still making a massive difference. And like you also pointed out, just the initiations from Yak, spot on, 12, 1 and 10 on Zero Attitude. Extremely well played by him. He really did set most of it up.
Yeah, so Zero Attitude destroying Zero Latitude, which is a pain in the ass to say, but and this Axe play, the Shadow Fiend play, it all worked out so well for Assail in the end, and that's 2-0 for them.
Yeah, Assail getting a slightly better standing, as of course Zero Latitude, they're slightly worse now after this series, but most of it's still open for the first 3 or so spots. Kingdom probably gonna remain at least in the top 2, I believe, but after that it's a couple of teams that can still contest those parts. But guys, this will be it for now. We might come back a little bit later on today, depending on a couple of things, but for now it's gonna be it. Thank you so much for tuning in and just checking out those Southeast Asian games here, although so much other Dota is going on as well, so greatly appreciated. And if you want to follow us and see more content, check out HeflaTV's Facebook and Twitter. It is HeflaTV for both. And if you want to follow the casters, it's at Couchor for me, at Mikelorus for my co-caster. Both of those names are also in the title of Twitch if you want to check those out. But for now guys, just a few songs to finish the stream, and have a good one.